Namaste, and welcome to Transcend, your daily source of inspiration and spiritual wisdom. Namaste, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at Transcend. If you guys like this video, please, press the like button, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel and help us spread this message of divine love. So in this video, we're going to talk about an idea that we often hear, the idea of that all paths lead to one destination. There are many paths up the same mountain, but when you get to the top, the peak of the mountain, you realize that they were all just different paths going to the same place. That's a really good example. It's a good metaphor, and it does justice to a certain extent. It doesn't exactly give the perfect idea, but it gives a good idea. So the thing is that this conception that all paths lead to the same place is true, and it's also not true. And this is the thing that dealing with spiritual knowledge, tattva, we're going to understand that contradictions find their harmony in divine life. So there's going to be contradictions in spiritual knowledge and spiritual life, but those contradictions aren't a problem. And that's the thing that people of the conditioned world like us, we often think that contradictions, they mean problems. They mean, oh, it has to be this way or it has to be that way. They can't understand that there could be two sides to the one coin, right? So there's two sides to one coin. It's not such a hard thing to understand, really. So I want to, and the Sanskrit terminology for the harmony of difference is achinta beda abeda tattva, which means the simultaneous congruency and infinite variegatedness. So it's a well-known thing in the Vedic traditions that yes, contradictions exist, but that doesn't even matter really when dealing with spiritual life. So first off, I want to give the very good example of this is in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna, he says, all living entities, they are following my path according to their nature. So what does this mean? This means that all the living entities, okay, there's many paths, and there's many spiritual paths, there's many material paths. But in essence, what Krishna is saying here is that the living entity is on a progressive march towards the ultimate destination. Not necessarily that all paths are going to lead to the exact same result at the end of this one lifetime or even within this lifetime. That is absolutely not what Sri Krishna is saying. For example, say I go, it's awful, but say I go murder someone, I'm going to amass a massive amount of negative karmic results from that bad energy. Say I go do a loving act for someone, that's going to amass more positive results. So can we say that doing both of those things got the same result? I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it, and by intelligence, by all means possible, that just wouldn't be right. And so spiritually, there are many varieties of destinations in the spiritual paradigm, but first we have to understand that even within the material paradigm, there's so many different destinations. In the one material universe, it describes there's 14 lokas, or planes, dimensions, 14 kind of dimensions. with different types of living entities, and they have different goals in life, different pursuits and aspirations. A few of these lokas are Siddha Loka, Jana Loka, Tapa Loka, Satya Loka. We live on Martya Loka, and so there's so many lokas. Loka means plane or, dimension. And so the point is that there's so many different practices that we come into contact with in this world, and we hear people say, yes, worshiping Jesus is the same as worshiping Krishna, or the same as worshiping Buddha, or the same as worshiping Allah. And okay, the thing is that it's not exactly true. It's true in one sense, and that is the sense that all things are in connection. All things have their ultimate yoga union with divinity in the practice of bhakti, divine love. And so, does that means that bhakti, divine love, is the backdrop of existence, the highest point of existence, so everything that is culminating in bhakti will eventually come to it? Probably. It doesn't have to, though, especially in regards to when people reach the actual divine sky called Paraviyoma. When they reach that place, their heart finds a fulfillment in a different way. For instance, there's worshippers of Krishna, and people only enter into Krishna's realm with a very specific type of divine love that has to be cultivated in this world and in their future birth. Hopefully not too many more births. They can do it in this lifetime if they want to. And that is called Swarup Siddhi, which means the perfection of one's identity and psychological loving makeup, spiritual makeup, a spiritual identity. And so they have to attain this certain identity shift before they enter that place. And so similarly, some they attain this type of perfection of their identity to go to the place where Krishna sports his leelas. And then there's people who go to the place where Sri Ram and Sita and Hanuman, they sport their leelas. So there's two different psychological makeups, and they go to two different places. Ram lives in Ayodhya, Krishna, which is a palace. It's a great kingly place. And Krishna, he lives in the cowherd pastures of Vrindavan. So there's two different types of love that permeate those two different destinations, and they are both totally divine, totally pure, totally transcendental. So there's variegatedness, but also there is differentiation. And it's the same when dealing with other traditions. It's we can't really say that, for example, if someone worships, Allah with a certain mood, or worships Jesus with a certain mood, can we really say that if it's not with the same mood that people worship Krishna or Ram in Ayodhya, how could we say that person will attain the same destination? It's not possible to say that, actually, because it doesn't make sense, and it's just not, they can't attain that place without having that cultivation take place first. Yet there is the other side to it, which is that there is this progressive aspect of spiritual life, which means, okay, one may attain a certain type of spiritual elevation in this birth, or they may attain their goal, and then from that goal, they may even aspire higher things. They may think, oh, actually, this is a higher place than where I am now. I want to proceed. And so this is where Krishna's saying in the Bhagavad Gita that all living entities are on my path in all regards. And so that means that Krishna is yes, he would be, in one sense we can say, the top of the mountain. He is, seeing everything, and people are coming towards him, and they're coming towards divine life, but approaching it in different ways. And if one wants to, they can go the entire length back to Krishna, or the entire length to Lord Ram in Ayodhya. Or they can go a certain distance and stop there, and that's okay too. That's up to them. So there's different places where different types of love is manifest and pervaded in that place, loka. But there's also, we have to understand that they are in connection. They are still in connection. These divine destinations are in connection, but the different types of love will bring us around to different places. And even Radharani herself, the supreme goddess, the consort of Sri Krishna, there's one Leela that took place about 5,000 years ago in this world on earth. And what happened was Radharani went to go meet Sri Krishna out in a different place. She went to go meet him outside of Vrindavan. And this Vrindavan, so when she left Vrindavan, she felt that, okay, I've left Vrindavan, the place where my love is so resplendent for Sri Krishna. And even though now I'm seeing Sri Krishna, my love is disturbed, and I can't feel the same mood towards Sri Krishna that I felt before. And that is a problem for her. And so that Leela goes to show the example, it goes to show the truth that the destination is actually in accordance with the deity, or with the localized central point of reception of love. In that place, Goloka, Krishna would be that. And so Radharani couldn't feel love for Krishna when she was seeing Krishna outside of Vrindavan, Goloka. So it's a very powerful and potent example, and that example is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavat Purana. And so it's a very interesting example, and so it really goes to show that love is it's more than just one-on-one thing. The whole environment is a type of love, and the spiritual dimension of Goloka, the environment, the other living entities, how that lotus of love is showing itself there. And that is what's so important to the relationship bhakti of Krishna and his associates there. And it's the same thing in other places. So in this way we can understand that spiritual life has a progressive way, and everything is connected, yet perfections, they are enlightenment, there are different calibers of enlightenment, and there are different stages of enlightenment and different destinations of enlightenment, and that is up to each person. Each person will achieve what they aspire for. In the Sanskrit books, it says, in accordance with the sadhya, in accordance with the sadhana, the practice, one will attain the sadhya, perfection. So the perfection comes according to the practice. So hope that makes sense for you guys. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel, ask me questions, and hope you guys have a nice day. Take care. Namaste.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna